JSIL, B presents Business Law, presented by Dr. Jonah Sanders.
Today we are going to study business law. Module 1, Introduction to Business Law. In this module, I'll introduce the foundational aspects of business law, a critical field that defines and regulates the relationships and transactions within the business world. This exploration will delve into how law influences business operations, why professionals need a strong grasp of legal principles, and how legal frameworks shape organizational strategies and decisions. By the end of this module, I'll have a clearer understanding of the scope, sources, and applications of business law in a professional setting, in defining business law and its scope. Business law is a multifaceted field that encompasses the rules, regulations, and guidelines that govern commercial interactions. These laws shape the rights, responsibilities, and protections for businesses, consumers, and employees alike. Understanding the scope of business law means recognizing its reach across various types of transactions and organizational structures. In this module, I will delve into the following. 1. Role of law in business. The law is fundamental to the business world, acting as a framework for fair competition, consumer protection, and employee rights. As I navigate this course, I'll observe how laws ensure stability, safeguard stakeholders, and maintain ethical standards in business. I will also learn how these laws adapt to address new challenges posed by globalization, technological advancement, and evolving business practices. 2. Key concepts and terminology. Acquiring legal terminology is essential for understanding business law's intricacies. Terms like precedent, statute, liability, and regulation will become familiar as I explore this module, building a foundation for future modules. Through these terms, I'll see how abstract legal principles apply directly to everyday business decisions. Key topics in business law. This module covers critical components of business law, focusing on the sources of law, the judicial system structure, types of business law, and the professional importance of legal knowledge. Here's a closer look at each topic. 1. Sources of business law: common law, statutory law, and administrative regulations. Business law is derived from multiple sources, each playing a unique role. First, common law is built on judicial precedents, prior case decisions that guide future rulings. Second, statutory law consists of laws enacted by legislatures, which directly affect business practices, e.g., antitrust laws. Third, administrative regulations are rules established by government agencies that regulate specific business areas, such as environmental compliance. By understanding these sources, I'll grasp how laws develop and apply to various business contexts. 2. The judicial system and its structure. The judicial system interprets and enforces laws, providing a mechanism for resolving business-related disputes. Understanding its structure from local courts up to the Supreme Court is vital for recognizing how legal cases are handled. This section will introduce me to the hierarchy and function of courts, including the roles of trial courts, appellate courts, and the highest courts, in ensuring justice and fairness in business law. I'll explore how these courts handle disputes, interpret laws, and shape the legal landscape. 3. Types of business law: contracts, torts, employment law, and more. Business law covers a range of specific fields, each impacting different aspects of commerce. Contract law, for instance, regulates the formation and enforcement of agreements, essential for nearly all business transactions. Tort law addresses civil wrongs that may harm individuals or entities, holding parties accountable for negligence or intentional harm. Employment law focuses on the rights and responsibilities within employer-employee relationships. By exploring these types, I'll gain a holistic view of how business law safeguards stakeholders and promotes responsible practices. 4. Importance of understanding business law for professionals. A firm grasp of business law is crucial for professionals across all industries. With a foundational knowledge of legal concepts, I'll be better equipped to navigate the regulatory landscape, mitigate risks, and make informed decisions. For example, understanding contract law can help me structure fair agreements, while knowledge of employment law allows me to foster compliance in the workplace. This section emphasizes the role of legal literacy in enhancing professional judgment, fostering ethical decision-making, and protecting the organization from potential liabilities. Personal reflections and practical applications. As I engage with this module, I find myself reflecting on the vast impact of business law on day-to-day professional activities. With each concept, I'm recognizing how law serves as a guiding force in promoting justice, accountability, and ethical practices within business. By gaining familiarity with the sources, types, and systems of law, I'm preparing to approach my career with greater confidence and an enhanced capacity for responsible decision-making. Module 2. Contracts and Contract Law. This module provides an in-depth exploration of contracts, a fundamental element of business transactions. Contracts are essential for defining and formalizing the terms of agreements, enabling parties to operate with clarity and assurance. In this module, I'll study the life cycle of a contract, from its formation to potential breaches and remedies. By understanding contracts in detail, I'll gain insights into one of the cornerstones of business law, and the importance of contracts in business. Contracts are more than just formalities, they are legally enforceable agreements that establish rights, duties, and expectations. They ensure that parties fulfill their commitments, protect against misunderstandings, and provide recourse if terms are not met. As I delve into this topic, I'll realize the crucial role contracts play in promoting trust and stability within business transactions, underpinning nearly every interaction in commerce. Key topics in contract law. This module covers essential aspects of contract law, including what makes a contract valid, the different types of contracts, responses to contract breaches, and the role of the Uniform Commercial Code (UCC). Each topic will clarify the significance and application of contracts in business. 1. Elements of a valid contract offer: acceptance, consideration, capacity, and legality. For a contract to be enforceable, it must meet 5 fundamental elements. Offer: the proposal made by one party to another, outlining the terms of the agreement. Acceptance: the other party's agreement to the terms is presented in the offer. Consideration: something of value exchanged between the parties, often a service or payment. Capacity: the legal ability of each party to enter a contract, ensuring they understand the terms. Legality: the contract's purpose must be lawful. Each of these elements is necessary for a contract to be binding, and understanding them will help me analyze agreements in a structured way. I'll see how these components establish clarity and fairness, ensuring all parties willingly and knowledgeably agree to the terms. 2. Types of contracts: bilateral, unilateral, express, and implied. Contracts come in various forms, each serving different scenarios. Bilateral contracts: agreements where both parties exchange mutual promises, e.g., sales contracts. Unilateral contracts: agreements where one party promises something in exchange for an action, e.g., rewards for lost items. Express contracts: clearly defined agreements with explicit terms, either written or spoken. Implied contracts: contracts based on the behavior or circumstances, rather than written or spoken words. Recognizing these types will help me identify which type of contract is suitable for specific situations. I'll also learn to differentiate between situations that may require explicit agreements versus those that may imply agreements through conduct. 3. Breach of contract and remedies. When a party fails to fulfill their contractual obligations, it results in a breach of contract. This can lead to various consequences, including legal disputes. The remedies for breaches include damages, monetary compensation to the affected party. Specific performance: a court order requiring the breaching party to fulfill their obligations. Rescission: cancellation of the contract, with parties restored to their original state. Restitution: compensation to prevent the breaching party from benefiting unjustly. By understanding these remedies, I'll be prepared to handle situations involving breaches and identify appropriate responses. Knowing how to navigate breaches will help me protect business interests, maintain fairness, and seek recourse if agreements are not honored. 4. The Uniform Commercial Code (UCC) and its impact on business contracts. 4. The Uniform Commercial Code (UCC) and its impact on business contracts. The Uniform Commercial Code (UCC) is a set of standardized rules that govern commercial transactions across the United States. It primarily applies to the sale of goods and ensures consistency in business dealings across states. Key aspects of the UCC include provisions on contract formation, performance, and remedies for breach in the context of sales. By studying the UCC, I'll gain insight into its impact on contracts and how it provides a predictable and consistent framework for commerce. The UCC's influence extends to various aspects of business law, particularly in transactions involving goods. Understanding its application will enable me to ensure that contracts comply with these standards and anticipate how the UCC might affect future business agreements. Personal reflections and practical applications. As I work through this module, I'm struck by the importance of contracts in business interactions. They go beyond simple agreements, providing a structured way for parties to build trust and accountability. Gaining a clear understanding of contract law will allow me to make informed, legally sound decisions in business settings. With knowledge of the elements, types, remedies, and standards, I'll be well prepared to evaluate, draft, and uphold contracts, protecting both my interests and those of my business partners. Module 3. Business Organizations and Structures. This module examines the various types of business structures available to entrepreneurs and organizations, each with unique legal, financial, and operational implications. Understanding the benefits and drawbacks of each business structure is essential for making informed decisions that align with the organization's goals, liability preferences, and tax considerations. By exploring these structures in depth, I'll gain a practical perspective on how businesses are organized, governed, and impacted by legal obligations. Overview of business structures. The foundation of any business lies in its chosen structure, which affects everything from daily operations to taxation and liability exposure. This module introduces 4 common business structures: sole proprietorships, partnerships, limited liability companies LLCs, and corporations, each with specific advantages and legal requirements. By studying each type, I'll learn how different structures offer varying levels of protection, flexibility, and financial responsibility. Key topics in business structures. This module covers essential aspects of each business organization type, focusing on formation, pros and cons, liability considerations, tax implications, and corporate governance principles. 1. Sole proprietorships. Sole proprietorships are the simplest business structure, owned and operated by a single individual. They're straightforward to set up and provide direct control over operations. However, sole proprietorships do not offer liability protection, meaning that personal assets are at risk if the business incurs debt or legal issues. In this section, I'll explore how this structure benefits small businesses and entrepreneurs who prefer minimal regulatory requirements, but I'll also examine the potential drawbacks of full personal liability and the challenges in raising capital. 2. Partnerships. Partnerships involve 2 or more individuals who share ownership and responsibility. Partnerships can be general, where partners share equal liability, or limited, where some partners have limited liability. Partnerships allow for shared investment and collaboration, but general partnerships like sole proprietorships expose personal assets to risk. Through this section, I'll examine the collaborative advantages of partnerships, how liability is distributed, and the operational challenges that can arise when partners disagree or if one partner decides to leave. 3. Limited liability companies LLCs. LLCs combine the flexibility of a partnership with the liability protection of a corporation, shielding owners from personal liability. This structure offers advantages in flexibility and liability protection, making it a popular choice for small to medium-sized businesses. I'll explore how LLCs differ from corporations in terms of management structure, taxation, and simplicity of formation, as well as the potential limitations regarding growth and investment opportunities. 4. Corporations. Corporations are separate legal entities owned by shareholders, providing the highest level of liability protection. Corporations can raise capital by issuing stock, making them ideal for large businesses aiming for growth. However, forming a corporation involves complex regulations, higher costs, and additional tax considerations such as double taxation on corporate profits and shareholder dividends. This section will help me understand how corporations manage governance through boards of directors and how their structure impacts investor relationships, tax obligations, and compliance requirements. Liability and tax implications. Each business structure presents unique liability and tax implications. For instance, sole proprietorships and general partnerships hold owners personally liable for debts and legal issues. LLCs offer liability protection without corporate taxation, as profits are passed through to the owners. Corporations offer maximum liability protection but face double taxation, unless structured as an S corporation if eligible, which avoids corporate tax on profits. By understanding these distinctions, I'll be able to evaluate which structure best balances risk and financial strategy for different types of businesses. Corporate governance and fiduciary duties. Corporate governance and fiduciary duties. In corporations, governance is overseen by a board of directors responsible for protecting shareholder interests. Directors and officers are legally bound by fiduciary duties, including duty of care, acting prudently and with due diligence in decision-making, duty of loyalty, prioritizing the interests of the corporation and avoiding conflicts of interest. Understanding these duties is crucial, as they ensure ethical conduct and accountability in corporate leadership. By learning about corporate governance, I'll gain insights into the legal responsibilities that shape strategic decisions and ethical standards within corporate structures. Personal reflections and practical applications. Through this module, I'm gaining valuable insight into how each business structure influences a company's liability, tax strategy, and governance. Understanding these structures equips me with the knowledge to make strategic decisions aligned with organizational goals, financial health, and ethical considerations. By exploring the pros and cons of each model, I'm better prepared to advise on the ideal structure for various business scenarios, from small startups to large corporations. Module 4. Employment law and labor relations. In this module, I'll explore the laws that shape and regulate the employer-employee relationship, a vital area of business law affecting every organization. Employment law sets the standards for fair treatment, safety, compensation, and non-discrimination in the workplace, creating a framework that benefits both employers and employees. Understanding these laws will equip me with the knowledge to support fair and compliant workplace practices, essential in fostering a positive and legally compliant work environment. It's the foundation of employment law. Employment law encompasses a wide range of regulations and standards that govern how employers and employees interact. From employment contracts to anti-discrimination protections, these laws are designed to ensure fairness, equity, and safety in the workplace. This module addresses the primary aspects of employment law, helping me understand the legal principles that protect employees while balancing organizational needs. Key topics in employment law and labor relations. Each section of this module introduces essential aspects of employment law, providing a comprehensive look at the employer-employee relationship. 1. Employment contracts and at-will employment. An employment contract is a formal agreement defining the rights and responsibilities of both the employer and employee. These contracts can be binding agreements that specify employment terms, benefits, and job expectations. Conversely, at-will employment means either party can terminate the employment relationship at any time, with or without cause, provided it doesn't violate legal protections. I'll examine the benefits and potential risks associated with both contractual and at-will employment, recognizing how clear agreements can prevent disputes and clarify expectations. 2. Anti-discrimination laws ELC, ADA Title VI IDEA. Anti-discrimination laws protect employees from unfair treatment based on characteristics like race, gender, disability, age, and religion. Key legislation includes Equal Employment Opportunity Commission EOC enforces federal laws prohibiting discrimination. Americans with Disabilities Act ADA protects qualified individuals with disabilities from discrimination in employment. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act prohibits employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Age Discrimination in Employment Act ADEA protects individuals 40 years of age and older from workplace discrimination. Understanding these laws will help me grasp how organizations foster inclusivity and prevent discrimination, ensuring equal opportunity in hiring, promotion, and job retention. 3. Workplace Safety OSHA regulations. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration OSHA sets safety standards that employers must follow to provide a safe working environment. OSHA regulations cover everything from workplace hazards to emergency procedures and training requirements. By studying OSHA's guidelines, I'll recognize how safety standards protect employees from potential hazards, reduce workplace injuries, and contribute to a culture of health and safety. 4. Wage and Hour Laws and Employee Benefits FLSA, ERISA. Fair compensation is critical in employment law, and wage and hour laws ensure employees are paid fairly and receive adequate breaks and overtime pay. Key legislation includes Fair Labor Standards Act FLSA sets minimum wage, overtime pay standards, and regulations for child labor. Employee Retirement Income Security Act ERISA protects employee benefits, including retirement plans and health insurance. By understanding these laws, I'll gain insight into how organizations are required to compensate employees fairly and offer benefits that support financial stability and well-being. Compliance with these laws is essential for fostering trust and satisfaction in the workplace, as well as preventing disputes over wages and benefits. Personal reflections and practical applications. As I study employment law, I'm gaining an appreciation for the legal safeguards that promote fair treatment, safety, and financial security for employees. Employment law isn't just about regulation, it's about creating a positive work environment and ensuring both employer and employee rights are respected. Through this module, I'm better prepared to support ethical and compliant workplace practices, understanding that these laws form the backbone of a fair and equitable work environment. Whether navigating contracts, ensuring non-discrimination, or maintaining workplace safety, I'll apply these principles to foster a respectful and legally compliant work environment. Module 5. Intellectual Property IP Law. Intellectual property IP law plays a crucial role in protecting the innovations, branding, and unique creations that give businesses their competitive edge. In this module, I'll delve into the various types of IP, including trademarks, patents, copyrights, and trade secrets, as well as their respective protections and processes. By studying IP law, I'll gain an understanding of how businesses safeguard their valuable ideas and creations, prevent unauthorized use, and strategically leverage IP assets for growth and valuation. An overview of intellectual property rights. Intellectual property refers to creations of the mind, such as inventions, literary and artistic works, designs, and symbols used in commerce. These assets provide companies with the ability to differentiate themselves, maintain a competitive advantage, and generate income. This module will introduce me to the types of IP, explore their unique protections, and discuss how IP contributes to a business's strategic positioning and market value. Key topics in intellectual property law. This module covers fundamental areas of IP law that are crucial for understanding how businesses create, protect, and enforce intellectual assets. 1. Types of intellectual property: trademarks, patents, copyrights, and trade secrets. Each type of IP offers specific protections and has distinct purposes. Trademarks protect brand elements such as names, logos, and slogans that distinguish a company's products or services. Patents safeguard inventions and innovative processes, granting exclusive rights to inventors for a certain period. Copyrights protect original works of authorship, including books, music, and software. And trade secrets cover confidential business information such as formulas, practices, or processes, which gives a company a competitive edge. Through this section, I'll explore how each form of IP is uniquely suited to protect different types of business assets and how companies decide which type of protection best meets their strategic needs. 2. IP registration processes and requirements. To obtain legal protection for certain types of IP, registration is essential. This process varies by IP type. Trademarks are registered with agencies like the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office (USPO) and involve steps to verify uniqueness. Patents require a thorough application and examination process to confirm the invention is novel and non-obvious. Copyrights can be registered with organizations like the U.S. Copyright Office, although registration is not always required for protection. This topic will help me understand the complexities of registration, including eligibility, documentation, and timelines, and why registration strengthens a company's ability to defend its IP. 3. IP infringement and enforcement. IP infringement occurs when someone uses protected IP without permission, which can lead to legal disputes and financial losses. Enforcement involves monitoring for infringement, issuing cease and desist orders, and pursuing litigation if necessary. By examining case studies and enforcement mechanisms, I'll gain insight into how businesses identify and respond to IP violations, as well as the importance of enforcing IP rights to maintain a competitive advantage and protect revenue streams. 4. The role of IP in business strategy and valuation. Intellectual property is not just a legal tool, it is also a valuable strategic asset that can drive a business's growth and competitive positioning. Companies use IP to secure market share, attract investors, and increase valuation. Licensing and monetizing IP rights can open new revenue streams, while strong IP portfolios enhance brand equity and business valuation. This section will help me understand how companies use IP as a tool for long-term success and how IP plays a significant role in mergers, acquisitions, and investment opportunities. Personal reflections and practical applications. Through this module, I am gaining a deeper appreciation for how intellectual property law serves as a foundation for business innovation, branding, and strategic growth. IP law isn't just about legal protections, it's about enabling businesses to create, innovate, and expand with confidence. By understanding IP registration, infringement issues, and the strategic use of IP, I'm developing the skills needed to guide businesses in protecting their ideas and leveraging their intellectual assets. Whether working with startups or established companies, I'll apply this knowledge to support and defend the creations that give each business its unique value and advantage. Module 6. Business torts and product liability. In this module, I will explore the essential concepts surrounding business torts and liability issues, which are crucial for understanding the legal landscape in which businesses operate. Business torts can have significant financial and reputational consequences for organizations, while product liability issues can jeopardize consumer safety and lead to substantial legal claims. By examining these topics, I will gain insights into how businesses can navigate potential risks and implement effective strategies for liability management. The overview of business torts and product liability. Business torts involve wrongful acts that cause harm to individuals or other businesses, leading to legal liability. Understanding these torts, including intentional torts and negligence, is essential for protecting a business's interests. Additionally, product liability laws ensure that consumers are protected from unsafe products, holding businesses accountable for the goods they sell. This module will provide a comprehensive examination of these legal concepts and their implications for businesses. Key topics in business torts and product liability. 1. Intentional torts and negligence. Intentional torts occur when an individual or organization deliberately causes harm to another. Common examples include fraud and misrepresentation of facts that leads another party to suffer damages. Defamation, making false statements that harm a person's reputation. On the other hand, negligence involves failing to act with reasonable care, resulting in harm to another party. This section will help me understand the legal elements that must be proven in tort cases and the implications for businesses in cases of intentional harm or negligence. Recognizing these distinctions is critical for assessing risk and ensuring responsible business practices. 2. Strict liability and its application in product liability cases. Strict liability holds a business liable for damages caused by its products regardless of fault or intent. This means that even if a business has taken all reasonable precautions to ensure safety, it can still be held responsible if a product causes injury. This topic will explore the legal principles of strict liability in product liability cases, including the criteria that must be met for a claim to be successful. Understanding these concepts is vital for businesses, as it underscores the importance of product safety and the potential repercussions of negligence in manufacturing. 3. Consumer protection laws, e.g., Consumer Product Safety Act. Consumer protection laws exist to safeguard the rights and safety of consumers. One of the key regulations is the Consumer Product Safety Act, which establishes safety standards for consumer products and empowers regulatory agencies to oversee compliance. By studying these laws, I will learn about the obligations businesses have to ensure their products are safe and the potential consequences of failing to meet these standards. This knowledge will be instrumental in developing strategies for compliance and minimizing liability risks. 4. Risk management and strategies for liability reduction. Effective risk management is essential for businesses seeking to mitigate potential tort and liability issues. In this section, I will examine various strategies that organizations can implement to reduce liability risks, including conducting regular safety audits and inspections, providing comprehensive employee training on safety and compliance, implementing robust product testing and quality control measures. By understanding these strategies, I will be better equipped to advise businesses on how to proactively manage risks, ensuring that they can operate within the legal framework while protecting their interests and maintaining consumer trust. Personal reflections and practical applications. As I delve into business torts and product liability, I am gaining a clearer understanding of the legal responsibilities that businesses must uphold to protect themselves and their consumers. This module highlights the importance of ethical conduct, thorough risk management, and a commitment to product safety in the business environment. By comprehensively studying these concepts, I am preparing to navigate the complexities of liability in the business world. Whether advising organizations on best practices or developing compliance programs, I will apply this knowledge to foster a culture of accountability and safety that ultimately benefits both businesses and consumers. Module 7. Antitrust and Competition Law. In this module, I will examine the critical legal standards that govern competitive practices in business, focusing on antitrust laws designed to promote fair competition and prevent monopolistic behavior. Understanding these regulations is vital for ensuring that businesses operate within the legal framework while fostering a marketplace that encourages innovation, consumer choice, and economic growth. By studying the nuances of antitrust law, I will be better prepared to advise organizations on compliance and navigate potential legal challenges. Overview of antitrust and competition law. Antitrust laws are designed to protect competition and prevent unfair business practices that could harm consumers and the economy. These laws aim to promote a healthy competitive environment where businesses can thrive, fostering innovation and ensuring that consumers have access to a variety of goods and services. This module will introduce me to the key antitrust laws, the types of anti-competitive practices, and the enforcement mechanisms in place to uphold fair competition. Key topics in antitrust and competition law. 1. Key antitrust laws: Sherman Act, Clayton Act, FTC Act. The foundation of U.S. antitrust law lies in 3 primary statutes. The Sherman Act prohibits monopolistic practices and conspiracies to restrain trade. The Clayton Act addresses specific practices not covered by the Sherman Act, such as price discrimination in certain mergers and acquisitions that may substantially lessen competition. The Federal Trade Commission FTC Act empowers the FTC to prevent unfair or deceptive acts or practices in commerce. This section will help me understand the historical context of these laws, their specific provisions, and their significance in promoting fair competition. By analyzing landmark cases, I will gain insight into how these laws are interpreted and enforced. 2. Monopolies, cartels, and mergers. A critical focus of antitrust law is preventing monopolies and cartels, groups of businesses that collaborate to restrict competition. Monopolies can harm consumers by reducing choices and inflating prices, while cartels manipulate markets to achieve similar outcomes. Additionally, I will explore how mergers and acquisitions can sometimes create anti-competitive market structures. Understanding these concepts is essential for evaluating the competitive landscape and recognizing when business practices may raise legal concerns. 3. Price fixing, predatory pricing, and unfair competition. This section delves into specific anti-competitive practices that violate antitrust laws. Price fixing occurs when businesses collude to set prices, undermining market competition. Predatory pricing involves setting prices low with the intent to eliminate competition, ultimately leading to higher prices for consumers once competitors are driven out. Unfair competition encompasses a range of deceptive practices that can harm other businesses and mislead consumers. By understanding these practices, I will be equipped to identify potential legal issues and advise businesses on maintaining compliance with antitrust regulations. Antitrust laws are enforced by federal agencies, primarily the Department of Justice (DOJ) and the Federal Trade Commission (FTC). This section will examine how these agencies investigate potential violations and the penalties that businesses may face for engaging in anti-competitive practices, which can include hefty fines, divestitures, and even criminal charges against individuals involved. Understanding the enforcement landscape is crucial for businesses to recognize the importance of compliance and the potential consequences of violations. Personal reflections and practical applications. As I engage with antitrust and competition law, I am gaining a profound appreciation for the legal frameworks that protect fair competition in the marketplace. This module underscores the significance of ethical business practices and the need for organizations to remain vigilant in their compliance efforts. By thoroughly studying antitrust laws, I am preparing to navigate the complexities of competitive practices and advocate for strategies that not only comply with the law but also foster a vibrant and innovative business environment. Whether working with startups or established corporations, I will apply this knowledge to help clients understand their legal responsibilities and navigate the challenges of competition in today's dynamic marketplace. Module 8. Securities Law and Corporate Finance. In this module, I will delve into the intricate legal framework that governs securities and corporate financial activities. Understanding securities law is vital for anyone involved in business, finance, or investment, as it provides the rules and regulations that ensure transparency, fairness, and accountability in the marketplace. By exploring key legislation and regulatory bodies, I will gain insights into the complexities of corporate finance and the legal responsibilities that companies must uphold. Overview of securities law and corporate finance. Securities law encompasses a wide range of regulations governing the issuance and trading of financial instruments, such as stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. These laws are designed to protect investors from fraud and ensure that companies provide accurate and complete information about their financial health. Corporate finance, on the other hand, involves the management of a company's financial resources, including funding, investments, and risk management. This module aims to provide me with a comprehensive understanding of these interrelated fields and the legal implications for businesses operating within them. Key topics in securities law and corporate finance. 1. Securities Act of 1933 and Securities Exchange Act of 1934, the foundation of U.S. securities regulation lies in two key pieces of legislation. The Securities Act of 1933 focuses on the initial sale of securities, requiring companies to register their offerings with the government and provide detailed disclosures to potential investors. This act aims to ensure that investors receive adequate information to make informed decisions. The Securities Exchange Act of 1934 regulates the trading of securities on the secondary market, establishing the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) to oversee the securities industry and enforce compliance with securities laws. By studying these acts, I will gain a deeper understanding of the regulatory framework that governs the securities market, the registration process, and the significance of transparency in financial reporting. 2. Roles of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC). The CC plays a pivotal role in enforcing securities laws and protecting investors. This section will explore the functions of the SEC, including its authority to regulate securities offerings, monitor trading activities, and oversee corporate disclosures. I will also examine how the SEC investigates potential violations and the consequences for companies that fail to comply with regulations. Understanding the SEC's role is crucial for recognizing the importance of regulatory compliance and the mechanisms in place to uphold investor protection. 3. Insider trading, securities fraud, and compliance. Insider trading refers to the buying or selling of securities based on non-public material information, which is considered illegal and unethical. This topic will cover the legal definitions of insider trading, the penalties for violations, and notable cases that have shaped insider trading regulations. Additionally, I will explore the broader category of securities fraud, which encompasses deceptive practices that mislead investors. Compliance with securities laws is essential for businesses, and this section will help me understand the mechanisms companies can implement to prevent insider trading and fraud. 4. Disclosure requirements and corporate governance. Companies are required to adhere to specific disclosure requirements to ensure that investors have access to critical financial information. This section will cover the various types of disclosures mandated by law, including periodic reports, financial statements, and material event disclosures. I will also explore the role of corporate governance in ensuring ethical management and decision-making within organizations. Understanding these concepts will empower me to recognize the importance of transparency and accountability in corporate finance and the impact these principles have on investor confidence. Personal reflections and practical applications. Engaging with securities law and corporate finance has deepened my understanding of the complex legal landscape that governs the financial activities of businesses. This module emphasizes the critical importance of regulatory compliance, ethical conduct, and transparency in maintaining investor trust and promoting fair markets. As I learn about the SEC's role and the intricacies of securities regulation, I feel equipped to advise businesses on best practices for compliance and governance. With this knowledge, I am better prepared to navigate the challenges of corporate finance and advocate for practices that enhance transparency and accountability. Whether assisting companies in their initial public offerings IPOs, guiding them through compliance audits, or developing corporate governance frameworks, I will apply the principles learned in this module to foster ethical business practices and protect investor interests. My goal is to contribute to a business environment that upholds the highest standards of integrity and transparency, ultimately driving sustainable growth and trust in the financial markets. Module 9. Environmental Law and Corporate Responsibility. In this module, I will explore the vital intersection of environmental law and corporate responsibility. As businesses increasingly face scrutiny regarding their environmental impact, understanding the legal framework that governs environmental practices and the expectations for corporate sustainability has never been more critical. This module aims to equip me with the knowledge to navigate environmental regulations and promote sustainable practices within organizations. Overview of environmental law and corporate responsibility. Environmental law encompasses a broad spectrum of regulations aimed at protecting the environment and public health. These laws establish standards for air and water quality, waste management, and the conservation of natural resources. Corporate responsibility extends beyond mere compliance. It includes a commitment to sustainable practices that minimize environmental harm and contribute positively to society. In this module, I will examine the legal requirements that businesses must meet and the ethical imperatives that drive corporate sustainability initiatives. Key topics in environmental law and corporate responsibility. 1. Key environmental regulations. Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, EPA standards. A comprehensive understanding of key environmental regulations is essential for any business operating today. The Clean Air Act sets national standards for air quality, requiring businesses to limit emissions of pollutants that can harm public health and the environment. The Clean Water Act regulates discharges into the nation's waters, establishing a framework for maintaining water quality. The Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) plays a crucial role in enforcing these regulations and developing standards that industries must follow. This section will delve into the specific provisions of these acts, exploring how they impact various industries and the compliance requirements businesses must adhere to. By familiarizing myself with these regulations, I will be better positioned to advise companies on best practices for environmental compliance and risk management. 2. Corporate environmental responsibility and sustainability. Corporate environmental responsibility encompasses the actions that businesses take to mitigate their environmental impact. This section will examine strategies for implementing sustainable practices, such as reducing waste, conserving energy, and sourcing materials responsibly. I will also explore the importance of integrating sustainability into corporate culture and decision-making processes. Understanding the principles of corporate social responsibility (CSR) will empower me to advocate for a holistic approach to environmental stewardship within organizations. 3. Legal consequences of environmental violations. Non-compliance with environmental laws can result in severe legal consequences for businesses, including hefty fines, litigation costs, and reputational damage. This section will discuss the potential legal repercussions of environmental violations, including penalties imposed by regulatory agencies and civil liability claims from affected parties. I will also analyze case studies of companies that face legal action due to environmental non-compliance, illustrating the real-world implications of failing to adhere to environmental regulations. By understanding these consequences, I will be able to guide businesses in developing compliance strategies that minimize legal risks. 4. Trends in corporate social responsibility (CSR) and green business practices. The landscape of corporate responsibility is evolving, with an increasing emphasis on sustainability and environmental stewardship. In this section, I will explore current trends in CSR, including the adoption of green business practices and the growing demand for transparency in environmental reporting. I will examine how consumers, investors, and stakeholders are increasingly prioritizing environmental considerations when making decisions. Additionally, I will analyze the role of certifications, such as LEED and ISO 14001, in promoting sustainable practices. Understanding these trends will equip me to advocate for strategies that align corporate objectives with societal expectations regarding environmental responsibility. Personal reflections and practical applications. Studying environmental law and corporate responsibility has profoundly impacted my perspective on the role of businesses in addressing environmental challenges. This module highlights the necessity of compliance with environmental regulations while recognizing the broader ethical obligations that companies have toward society and the planet. As I engage with the material, I am increasingly aware of the complex interplay between legal requirements and corporate ethics. Armed with this knowledge, I am prepared to assist organizations in navigating environmental regulations and implementing sustainable practices that benefit both their bottom line and the environment. Whether advising on compliance strategies, developing sustainability initiatives, or helping businesses communicate their environmental commitments, I will strive to foster a culture of responsibility and stewardship. My goal is to contribute to a future where businesses not only thrive economically but also play a vital role in protecting and preserving our natural resources for generations to come. Module 11. Tax Law and Compliance for Businesses. In this module, I will explore the essential principles of tax law and compliance as they apply to businesses. Understanding tax obligations is critical for any business professional, as effective tax management can significantly impact a company's financial health and operational viability. This module will provide me with a solid foundation in various types of taxes, compliance requirements, and strategies for managing tax-related issues. Overview of tax law and compliance. Tax law governs the obligations and rights of businesses concerning taxation. It is essential for businesses to be aware of their tax responsibilities, as failure to comply can result in severe financial penalties and legal repercussions. In this module, I will examine the fundamentals of tax law, focusing on the types of taxes that affect businesses, the implications for different business entities, and the compliance requirements they must meet. An overview of tax law and compliance. Tax law governs the obligations and rights of businesses concerning taxation. It is essential for businesses to be aware of their tax responsibilities, as failure to comply can result in severe financial penalties and legal repercussions. In this module, I will examine the fundamentals of tax law, focusing on the types of taxes that affect businesses, the implications for different business entities, and the compliance requirements they must meet. Key topics in tax law and compliance. 1. Types of taxes: income, sales, payroll, and property. Understanding the different types of taxes is fundamental to navigating the tax landscape effectively. In this section, I will explore the primary categories of taxes that businesses encounter. Income tax. This tax applies to the profits earned by businesses and varies based on the business structure, e.g., sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation. Sales tax. Businesses must collect sales tax on goods and services sold, which varies by jurisdiction and can impact pricing strategies. Payroll tax. Employers are responsible for withholding payroll taxes from employees' wages, including Social Security and Medicare taxes, which requires meticulous record-keeping and compliance. Property tax. Businesses owning real estate are subject to property taxes, which can significantly impact operational costs. By examining these taxes, I will gain a deeper understanding of how they affect business operations and the importance of effective tax planning. Different business structures have unique tax implications that can influence their overall tax burden. In this section, I will analyze how various entities such as sole proprietorships, partnerships, limited liability companies (LLCs), and corporations are taxed differently. For instance, I will explore how pass-through taxation works for partnerships and LLCs versus double taxation for C corporations. Understanding these distinctions is crucial for advising businesses on choosing the appropriate entity structure based on their tax obligations. 3. Foreign investment and currency regulations. Foreign investment is a key driver of global economic growth, but it also comes with a unique set of legal challenges. I will investigate the regulations governing foreign direct investment (FDI), including restrictions, incentives, and the legal frameworks that protect foreign investors. Additionally, currency regulations play a critical role in international business, influencing how companies conduct transactions and manage currency risk. By exploring these topics, I will develop a comprehensive understanding of the legal considerations surrounding foreign investment, equipping me to advise organizations on strategies for successful international expansion. 4. Dispute resolution in international business. Disputes are an inevitable part of international business, and understanding how to resolve them is essential for protecting a company's interests. This section will focus on various methods of dispute resolution, including negotiation, mediation, arbitration, and litigation. I will analyze the advantages and disadvantages of each approach, as well as the role of international arbitration bodies in resolving disputes. I will also examine the importance of drafting effective dispute resolution clauses in contracts to mitigate risks. By mastering these concepts, I will be better prepared to advise businesses on strategies for managing disputes and ensuring that they are resolved efficiently and fairly. Personal reflections and practical applications. Studying international business law has opened my eyes to the complexities and opportunities presented by global commerce. I have come to appreciate the intricate legal frameworks that govern international trade and the necessity of understanding these laws for successful business operations. As I engage with the material, I am increasingly aware of the strategic importance of international trade agreements and how they can impact business decisions. My goal is to leverage this knowledge to help organizations navigate the legal landscape of international business effectively. By advising on compliance with trade regulations, assisting in the negotiation of international contracts, and facilitating dispute resolution, I aim to contribute to the success of businesses operating in a globalized economy. In conclusion, this module has equipped me with essential insights into international business law, empowering me to approach global business challenges with confidence and a solid understanding of the legal considerations involved. As I move forward, I am committed to fostering a culture of legal awareness within organizations, ensuring they can thrive in the dynamic and competitive world of international business. Module 12. Emerging Issues in Business Law. In this module, I will explore the essential principles of tax law and compliance as they apply to businesses. Understanding tax obligations is critical for any business professional, as effective tax management can significantly impact a company's financial health and operational viability. This module will provide me with a solid foundation in various types of taxes, compliance requirements, and strategies for managing tax-related issues. Overview of tax law and compliance. Tax law governs the obligations and rights of businesses concerning taxation. It is essential for businesses to be aware of their tax responsibilities, as failure to comply can result in severe financial penalties and legal repercussions. In this module, I will examine the fundamentals of tax law, focusing on the types of taxes that affect businesses, the implications for different business entities, and the compliance requirements they must meet. An overview of tax law and compliance. Tax law governs the obligations and rights of businesses concerning taxation. It is essential for businesses to be aware of their tax responsibilities, as failure to comply can result in severe financial penalties and legal repercussions. In this module, I will examine the fundamentals of tax law, focusing on the types of taxes that affect businesses, the implications for different business entities, and the compliance requirements they must meet. Key topics in tax law and compliance. 1. Types of taxes: income, sales, payroll, and property. Understanding the different types of taxes is fundamental to navigating the tax landscape effectively. In this section, I will explore the primary categories of taxes that businesses encounter. Income tax. This tax applies to the profits earned by businesses and varies based on the business structure, e.g., sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation. Sales tax. Businesses must collect sales tax on goods and services sold, which varies by jurisdiction and can impact pricing strategies. Payroll tax. Employers are responsible for withholding payroll taxes from employees' wages, including Social Security and Medicare taxes, which requires meticulous record-keeping and compliance. Property tax. Businesses owning real estate are subject to property taxes, which can significantly impact operational costs. By examining these taxes, I will gain a deeper understanding of how they affect business operations and the importance of effective tax planning. Different business structures have unique tax implications that can influence their overall tax burden. In this section, I will analyze how various entities such as sole proprietorships, partnerships, limited liability companies (LLCs), and corporations are taxed differently. For instance, I will explore how pass-through taxation works for partnerships and LLCs versus double taxation for C corporations. Understanding these distinctions is crucial for advising businesses on choosing the appropriate entity structure based on their tax obligations. Furthermore, I will discuss tax incentives and deductions available to different entities, empowering me to guide businesses in optimizing their tax positions effectively. 3. Compliance requirements and filing deadlines. Compliance with tax regulations is critical for avoiding penalties and legal issues. In this section, I will investigate the various compliance requirements that businesses must adhere to, including filing tax returns, making estimated tax payments, and maintaining accurate financial records. I will also examine key filing deadlines for different types of taxes, emphasizing the importance of timely compliance to mitigate risks. This understanding will enable me to advise businesses on effective compliance strategies, ensuring they remain in good standing with tax authorities. 4. Audits, penalties, and appeals process. Tax audits can be a daunting experience for businesses, and understanding the audit process is essential for effective risk management. In this section, I will explore the reasons why businesses may be audited, the typical audit procedures, and the documentation required during an audit. Additionally, I will discuss the potential penalties for non-compliance, including fines and interest charges, and the steps businesses can take to mitigate these penalties. I will also examine the appeals process, which allows businesses to challenge tax assessments or penalties. Understanding this process is crucial for businesses seeking to protect their rights and ensure fair treatment by tax authorities. Personal reflections and practical applications. Studying tax law and compliance has significantly enhanced my understanding of the complexities involved in managing a business's tax obligations. I have come to appreciate the critical role that effective tax planning plays in ensuring a business's financial stability and success. As I engage with the content, I recognize that navigating the tax landscape requires not only knowledge of the laws but also strategic thinking and planning. My goal is to leverage this knowledge to help businesses optimize their tax positions, comply with legal requirements, and avoid potential pitfalls. By understanding the intricacies of different tax types, the implications for various business entities, and the compliance landscape, I am better equipped to provide valuable insights and guidance. I aim to foster a culture of tax awareness within organizations, empowering them to make informed decisions that positively impact their bottom line. In conclusion, this module has solidified my commitment to continuous learning in the field of tax law. I recognize the importance of staying updated on changes in tax legislation and compliance requirements, and I am dedicated to helping businesses navigate the evolving tax landscape effectively. My ambition is to contribute to their long-term success by ensuring they remain compliant while maximizing their tax efficiencies. Module 12. Emerging Issues in Business Law. As I embark on this module, I am excited to delve into the current trends and new challenges shaping the field of business law. The rapid evolution of technology and globalization has introduced complex legal questions that require a nuanced understanding. This module will provide me with insights into the implications of e-commerce, data privacy, and ethical considerations in emerging technologies, equipping me to navigate the evolving legal landscape effectively. An overview of emerging issues in business law. The landscape of business law is continuously changing, driven by advancements in technology and shifts in societal values. In this module, I will explore emerging issues that are reshaping how businesses operate and how legal professionals approach their responsibilities. Understanding these trends is vital for adapting to new legal frameworks and ensuring compliance, while fostering innovation. Key topics in emerging issues in business law. 1. Legal implications of e-commerce and digital transactions. E-commerce has transformed how businesses engage with consumers, but it has also introduced a host of legal challenges. In this section, I will examine the legal implications of online transactions, including issues related to contract formation, jurisdiction, and dispute resolution. I will analyze how traditional business laws apply to digital environments and the challenges of enforcing agreements made online. Furthermore, I will explore the evolving nature of consumer protection in e-commerce, particularly concerning deceptive advertising practices and product liability. By understanding these legal intricacies, I can better advise businesses on compliance and risk management in the digital marketplace. 2. Data privacy laws, GDPR, CCPA, and cybersecurity. With the increasing reliance on data in business operations, data privacy has become a paramount concern. This section will focus on significant data privacy laws, including the General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) and the California Consumer Privacy Act (CCPA). I will delve into the rights these laws grant individuals and the obligations imposed on businesses regarding data collection, storage, and usage. Additionally, I will explore the legal and ethical considerations surrounding cybersecurity, especially in light of the rising number of data breaches and cyber attacks. Understanding the legal implications of data protection and the necessity for robust cybersecurity measures is critical for businesses to safeguard sensitive information and maintain consumer trust. 3. Ethical considerations in AI and automation. The integration of artificial intelligence, AI, and automation into business processes raises ethical and legal questions that require careful consideration. In this section, I will investigate the ethical implications of AI, particularly in decision-making processes, and its impact on employment. I will explore how AI algorithms may perpetuate biases and the legal responsibilities of businesses in mitigating these risks. Furthermore, I will discuss the need for ethical frameworks that guide the development and implementation of AI technologies in business. By addressing these ethical considerations, I can help organizations navigate the complexities of incorporating AI while remaining compliant with evolving legal standards. 4. Adapting to changes in the legal landscape for business innovation. As the legal landscape evolves, businesses must remain agile and adapt to new regulations and compliance requirements. In this section, I will examine how companies can proactively respond to emerging legal challenges while fostering innovation. I will discuss strategies for staying informed about legal developments and best practices for integrating compliance into business models. Understanding how to navigate legal uncertainties while pursuing innovative solutions is crucial for businesses aiming to remain competitive in a rapidly changing environment. I will emphasize the importance of developing a proactive legal strategy that aligns with business goals and mitigates risks. Personal reflections and practical applications engaging with the emerging issues in business law has broadened my perspective on the intersection of law, technology, and ethics. I am increasingly aware of the need for businesses to remain vigilant in addressing legal challenges that arise from technological advancements. This module has equipped me with the knowledge and tools to guide organizations in navigating these complexities effectively.